Somebody identifying as a woman, technically, can. If you believe in gender identity, then yes, they should have, specified that it's not just, saying woman specifically in terms of thinking about that as biology.
But it is biology. Okay, if it's not biology, what is
gender
a woman?
Identity.
No, hold on. If it's not a biological reality, what is a woman?
It depends. If you see a woman,
what is a woman?
Well, somebody who, in this day and age, and if we're going to be, inclusive of the trans community, and you believe in gender identity, then it's about somebody who can identify legally as a woman.
But what is that? What is that though? Like, what makes you a woman? If it's not biological reality, what would you describe a woman as?
Somebody who has transitioned. Someone who was transitioned or somebody who was born as a woman. So both.
Yeah, but what is that though? See, I can say biologically a woman has a vagina. Yep. I can say a woman has a cervix. It's women, and unless there's something wrong with the woman, most of us have a cervix. They can go through menopause. We have periods, and we can give birth. I can easily biologically say to you what a woman is. You cannot.
The question of the decade, it seems so easy. I was taught this in primary school. But you see, since schools and institutions have become so woke, we have gone away from reality. And what I learned in primary school is now apparently wrong, because I was told in school that a woman is an adult human female. Done. That's it. Full stop. But apparently now, nah, it's not that. So we're going to be watching a video of, a wokey, of course, talking about what a woman is, and probably it's going round and round in circles instead of keeping it real, because she wants to, please, people that maybe follow her, etc. So she just doesn't want to be honest, and she would rather oppress the truth and allow biological men who think they're women to be all up in women's safe spaces, which is a dangerous thing, we all know. But anyway, guys, let's get straight into the video, and we'll discuss. Let's go.
This is The Clash. I'm Nana Aquare. Why do politicians keep tripping up on basic biology? Sir Keir Starmer has frequently changed his stance on the matter, from claiming it's not right to say that only women who had a cervix to admitting it was important to protect female-only spaces, and that's as Liberal Democrats. Ed Davey, he had an issue with it as well. He said a woman can't have a penis, and then they're seeking to remove the need for medical diagnosis before an individual changes their sex on a birth certificate. In the meantime, Rishi Sunak has said the Tories would categorically protect spaces for women. But most recently, I've got to say this one, if you didn't hear it, here it is. Sir Keir Starmer was taken to task on the BBC by a caller over his views. Have a listen.
Jane, I am listening, and I've long championed women's spaces, biological women's spaces. And Jane, it goes back many years. Before I was a politician, I was the Director of Public Prosecutions between 2008 and 2013.
No, but I don't care about all of that. What I care about is you saying that you're going to allow men to identify as women, making GRCs easier, and then they can come into women's spaces.
Jane, when it comes to women's spaces, biological women's spaces, in relation to the particular example I was going to point you to was when I was doing work trying to drive up the protection for
changing the subject
to violence, domestic violence, sexual violence.
Which is not interested in the part.
This is daily. This is toilet changing rooms. This isn't about what you have done. This is about what we want to be done.
Just
we don't care about what you did in the past. We want you to say sex cannot be changed, and you will protect us from men coming into our space.
I have protected in the past and worked with those protecting women's spaces.
Can you say now that you will not allow men, biological men, under any guise, to come into women's safe spaces?
We will, of course.
Can you say that? Because we shouldn't have to be kind to these very few men. You need to think about 51% of the population who are sick of the absolute twaddle that comes out of your mouth when we ask these questions.
Yes, Jane. I can't help it. Listen, it's not just him.
It's very quick. It's super shocking that he cannot say, the leader of the Labour Party cannot say that he will protect women's safe spaces. But yet you still have a lot of woke women that are still going to vote Labour. They're going to vote because, well, I don't know what the reason is. Your safe spaces aren't going to be honoured and protected, but because they're woke and they think it's empowering or whatever, they're going to vote Labour. And yeah, he's not going to protect women's safe spaces. So good luck with that.
Many others appear to be confused with it. But come on, David Lammy, so that you can make a cervix. I mean, seriously. And we've talked about Ed Davey. He's previously said that women can have a penis.
So a woman can have a penis?
Well, quite clearly.
Really? Joanna, Lee, what are your thoughts, Joanna? Come on.
Well, look,
surely you can't support this nonsense.
a woman, somebody identifying as a woman, technically can. If you believe in gender identity, then yes, they should have, specified that it's not just, saying woman specifically in terms of thinking about that as biology.
But it is biology. Okay, if it's not biology, what is
Gender
a woman?
identity.
No, hold on. If it's not a biological reality, what is a woman?
It depends. If you see a woman,
what is a woman?
well, somebody who, in this day and age, and if we're going to be, inclusive of the trans community, and you believe in gender identity, then it's about somebody who can identify legally as a woman.
But what is that? What is that though? Like, what makes you a woman? If it's not biological reality, what would you describe a woman as?
Somebody who has transitioned. Someone who was transitioned or somebody who was born as a woman. So both.
Yeah, but what is that though? See, I can say biologically a woman has a vagina.
Yep.
I can say a woman has a cervix. Most women, unless there's something wrong with the woman, most of us have a cervix. They can go through menopause. We have periods and we can give birth. I can easily biologically say to you what a woman is. You cannot.
Well, I think personally where I draw the line, and I get where you're coming from now with your question, and where I draw the line, if somebody is actually...
Well, I get where you're coming from with your question. She asked you, what is a woman? Or I get where you're coming from with your question. Where's she coming from with the question? You've just overcomplicated it in your head. You've gone extremely woke and you're just not in touch with reality. Can you imagine this? And more men are seeing this. They're going to be like, hang on, I'm going to make the transition. This is dangerous for women. It's not dangerous for men, It's going to be dangerous for women. You're going to live in the tyranny of men. This is the future, honestly. So it's either you get it right now or, subject future, females to harm by men, later on down the line. But let's carry on.
Transitioned physically in terms of had some sort of surgery and become a woman and then can actually legally identify as a woman, not just somebody who puts on a wig and says that I am now a woman. And the reason why I say that is because of cases like Isla Bryson in Scotland, where you're charged with 2 counts of rape in 2019 and then by 2020 you've got a pick.
But your initial definition was somebody who has a gender certificate. Isla Bryson could have easily, and I don't know whether he did or didn't, but could have easily got one of these, especially in Scotland, where they're making it easier. So someone like him would have been seen as a woman.
That's where I draw the line, and that's what I don't agree with. But I do think that once you've transitioned,
you can't check somebody's. You can't check.
But once you've transitioned your genitalia and you've become a woman, then I think that's
very
Lee Harris.
A woman is an adult human female.
Done.
And I just
thank you. He just said it was that simple. Very simple. They could have gone on to the next question. Had you just got it right the first time, boom.
It's frustrating, and I do think about this a lot. I'm the only man in the house. I have a 8-year-old daughter and a wife, and I do think about this a lot, and I worry about my daughter's future when this just can't be discussed like grown-ups. I think I'm watching children whenever I see this being debated, especially, or not debated, as in the case of listening to people like Keir Starmer, who just obfuscates about everything. You can't answer the question. I think it's absolutely infuriating. Why can't they just state? And I don't want to directly have a poppy because I know what you're saying. I do genuinely understand what you're saying. So you're saying that we should be respectful and kind. I don't think that's anybody. I don't think anybody is saying that they're going to be, just because we're not. A man cannot become a woman and a woman cannot become a man. But if a man wants to be called Tracy and dresses like a woman, I've got absolutely no problem with that. But they should not be able to have access to women-only spaces. In the previous life, I used to do a bit of recruitment. I, as a man, was not even allowed to phone on the telephone a women's refuge centre because I was a man. And those are the sort of situations, and you mentioned Isla Bryson as well, those are the sort of situations where actually we do need to have a proper, serious, not debate. I don't think the debate even needs to happen. We just need to be sensible.
and realistic.
No, but I've
got to go for the news, but I will come back to this. We will come back to it when we return. Now, I've got to come back to Joanna Joshi because she wanted to make it. We're talking about the whole trans debate. Where were you on it?
Yeah, you know what? I'll be completely honest. I kind of stumble over my words when I'm talking about it because it's such a sensitive topic, and I never want to kind of offend anyone. And I am.
That's the problem. Just not wanting to offend anyone, you know. But facts is facts. Biology is biology. You know, keeping it real is simply just keeping it real. And sometimes you just have to keep real. If it offends someone because you said what a woman or a man is, then it's out of your realm. It's out of your reach. You know, you're just saying, you know, what a fact is. It's just that simple.
I'm pro people, you know, deciding their gender identity and transitioning and being treated with respect. But sometimes I also think to myself, the same way that I'm so kind of open and welcoming and acknowledge all of the things that trans people might go through, I would also like to see that from the other side as well. So obviously...
What do you mean by that? You'd like to see trans people more understanding of where we, as women...
Yeah, understanding of where women, especially if you're a trans woman and you know, identify as a woman, then surely, you know, you would understand that just in the same way that, you know, a trans woman might feel unsafe in a male space because they're trans. And obviously we've seen that trans hate crimes have gone up by 11%. So it is a thing. But then at the same time, also acknowledge the fact that women could be at risk. And can I just say, to clarify, it's not that women are at risk of genuine trans women in their spaces. It's the fact that when you open up these spaces, sometimes what can happen is that actual men who are predators then pretend to be legitimate trans women. So I actually think that a solution for this would be to have, you know, some sort of legislation where they have their own separate, like a gender neutral toilet that's you know.
But I think that seems pretty obvious to me.
If you don't fight against it and if you don't complain, then no one's going to think there's an issue anyway. This is why you must say, this is why women must speak out about it. Primarily, it must be women to talk out against these things. You know, no one else can. Well, the men can do their bit, but it's something that's going to harm women, you know, in the future. You know, so women should talk out against this, you know, because very quickly things can change. And once they change and it's in law and everything is neutral, everyone can be all up in everyone else's spaces, it's going to be very hard to reverse that. And yeah, you can't just, you know, enact a law and, you know, and a biological man's thinking he's a woman. Now he's believing he's a woman and he's in women's safe spaces now. And then you want to reverse that and tell him, no, you can't be there anymore. It's hard. It's a long process, you know, so this is why talk out now to save yourself future harm, you know, women. So yeah.
And I don't get why there's a sort of forcing on the, we'll just, you know, we can all be the same, but we're not. And there's a reason why we're not, because, and a lot of people say, that trans people are the most vulnerable. I actually think women are the most vulnerable. Women are the most vulnerable, proportionately as well. But everyone, in a sense, in that environment is vulnerable. So I just think then there should be a space for a third space. I don't see what the problem is, and I don't get why anyone would see that as a bad thing. It doesn't make you transphobic for suggesting something that is obvious.
I think the problem is with that, though, and I agree, that is the perfect solution, is that wherever you go, there's always a third space, everyone's happy, that's job done, effectively. But we haven't got the infrastructure for it.
Well, some places, the majority of places you go, there's a men, women's, and then there's a...
Yeah, where there are places, I've been to places where there is kind of unisex, like where you go to a swimming pool.
I think they need to stop that.
That's fine.
I think they need to stop that.
There are a lot of places where there aren't. No,
Nana's like, they need to stop it. I think they need to stop it. Man, she's going for it.
When my wife takes my daughter swimming, for example, down the swim, there isn't in that particular place.
Can I just pick up on that?
Very quickly, so I've got to move on to
what is the difference between now? There's so many spaces. Just before this show, I went into a unisex toilet, and none of us likes it.
Nobody likes it.
Yeah, but then nobody really.
We don't want it.
No, but nobody is making that much of a big deal about it. We already have that. It exists.
Yeah, we do. But remember, you're in an environment where everybody we all sort of know each other and so on and so forth. So we're talking about when you go to a real public exposed space where there's not.
There's unisex toilet. It already exists.
And actually, they're changing. I think they're changing that now. I don't really like that.
I agree.
But a lot of times as well, in those spaces, they are single cubicles that you shut the door in and it's just you.
Yeah.
So in that space, I don't so much mind that. But if it is one where you're in a place where there's lots of, there's an open thing and it's just, I don't think it works. And I think that I would love it for them to change it. I think there is a new law now that says it has to have male, female and a separate space. But I think all developers should be doing.
Okay, so just to conclude very, very quickly, as for myself and my personal experience, I have been into a few unisex toilets, and when I get in and I see a woman there, I run straight back out for many reasons. One of them is the Me Too movement. I don't want any kind of allegations, no problems. I'll literally leave. When it's empty, I'm going in, myself. I don't want to be there staring in the mirror with a woman. Nope, I'm out. Allegations, nah, I'm not trying to fight that, not in 2024. You know how it goes. So that's number one. Number two, I don't know, I just don't feel super, I don't feel super comfortable, in them spaces, I'd rather be in a men's only, and do my business, so I'd rather just, do my business in, men only spaces when it comes to the toilets. And yeah, but this is now a big debating topic. They've gone on for what, 10 minutes just talking about something that, I defined in the beginning very simply. And they've gone on for 10 minutes. Well, not them. It's mostly the lefty, the wokey. She was basically just talking about different ways of how you feel and what you identify with, etc. And okay, cool, no problem. One day you'll go to a toilet. I hope there's a nice 7 foot tall man, muscular man that goes to the gym and he's just there and he's saying, hey, I'm a woman. If you're cool with that, then hey, that's absolutely fine, man. It's something that's going to affect, females if they don't talk out against it. So, don't say I didn't try. We've tried to make it a way. We've tried to fight for women here because that's what this whole video is about, trying to fight for women, to keep men away from women, to support and save women's safe spaces. But she's adamant, the lefty, the wokey, Jojua, I believe her name is, or Joju, is, adamant on not hurting feelings and allowing men to be in women's spaces and for them to feel comfortable. And okay, cool. That's your future. So yeah. But anyway, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.